So another property of water, that is the fifth property, is the hydrolysis reaction. As we know that the dielectric constant for water is very high. The dielectric constant for water is very high. That means it can actually break the bonds between the maximum number of compounds. Therefore, the maximum number of compounds actually you can say that interact with the water molecules. So what is the hydrolysis reaction actually? It is the interaction of hydrogen and hydroxide ion of water with anion and cation of any compound which is added to the water. So and whenever they react, actually they form a substance which may be an acidic in nature, which may be a basic in nature. So we'll see that. So that means we can say that as the dielectric constant of water is very high, it has a power of actually breaking the bonds between the compounds. How? That is, the H and OH of water just interact with the anion and cation of the compound which is added to the water. That is why the reaction take place and result in the formation of acid or base. Let's see that. See, calcium oxide if added to water, then H and OH is going to interact with calcium ion and the oxide ion, leading to the formation of calcium hydroxide. Here no hydrogen will be involved because whenever you are doing with the oxide, you don't get hydrogen. But when you add metal to water, you get hydrogen, right? So here it is metal oxide, so you won't get hydrogen here. Likewise, as you can see that it is basic in nature. This is what I was trying to explain, that it forms a, maybe the substance formed is a basic in nature. Another thing, suppose SO2 plus water. SO2 when added to water forms H2SO3. That is the sulfurous acid. Again, when you add oxide to water, you don't get H2. Otherwise, when you add metal to water, you get the hydrogen released. So this is, as you know, is acidic in nature. So this kind of reaction actually you get to see where we have interaction of H and OH of water with the anion and cation of the compound, and that is why it dissolves and form a certain new substance. Next property is hydrates. Water has a tendency to combine with metal salts and form respective hydrates. That means water actually come into bonding between the with the metal salts. So we observe that three kind of hydrates are formed. It can be coordinate bonded water. Here the water is going to link with the metal ion with the coordinate bond. For example, this is NiH2O whole 6 3 positive. Here the bond which is involved is a coordinate bond. Therefore, this is called as coordinate bonded water. We can see that it may be hydrogen bonded water. Hydrogen bonded water, here water is going to link with metal ion with the hydrogen bond. That is, for example, CuSO4.5H2O. Here the hydrogen bonding is there. And it may be an interstitial water. Interstitial water is that when the water is found in the vacant spaces in the crystal lattice. That is, for example, BaCl2.2H2O. Here the water is present in the vacant spaces which is present between the crystal lattice of barium chloride. So these three kinds of hydrates actually we found depending upon the bond. Can be coordinate bonded water if it is linked with coordinate bond. Can be hydrogen bonded if it is linked by hydrogen bond, and it can be interstitial if present in the vacant spaces. So with this we finish the chemical properties of water. Now we are going to start with the types of water, because you must have heard about the hard water and the soft water. So we are just going to differentiate among two, that what actually is the cause that make the water hard or soft. Right. So this is all about the chemical properties. Till that time you just make yourself comfortable with the chemical properties, and please practice the reactions involved, and also don't forget to learn the examples which are involved. Right.